I want to go to NBC News correspondent Gabe Gutierrez in Keaton Beach, Florida, which is where the hurricane first landed. It was Category 3 then. There were winds, at 125 miles per hour. Gabe, it was really rough there this morning, and you've gotten through it now. Talk to me about what it is now compared to before.
Hi there, Andrea. Well, we're here just outside of Keaton Beach. We actually rode out the storm in Perry, which is not far from here, about 20 miles or so. And when we were driving out of Perry just now, we saw extensive tree damage, a lot of downed power lines, a collapsed gas station as we were going out of town. Now, this is the main road into Keaton Beach. And right behind me, you can see the Taylor County Sheriff. First responders are now heading into this beach and checking to see for any survivors. And they're trying right now to see if, who decided to ride it out and whether they're okay. We're told to hang back for just a few moments while those first responders are able to do their job. Now, Andrea, I can tell you that earlier this morning when we were in Perry, there was extremely powerful winds, well over 100 miles an hour, and that was 20 miles inland. You can only imagine just how powerful those wind gusts must have been here at the beach where this powerful storm, Idalia, first made landfall. Again, we're still trying to learn the full extent of the damage here in Keaton Beach. This was where that eye first made landfall a little earlier this morning. We're hoping to get behind this roadblock. Some residents have been trying to come in. This is, again, that main road, and driving in here was very difficult. Just a short time ago, it was impassable as first responders were there cutting through power lines, cutting through downed trees, trying to be the first ones to reach that beach on the other side of this roadblock, Andrea.
And Gabe, we just saw some incredible pictures that we were showing on a split screen with you of, just houses wiped out, the roof cut off. What Kevin Guthrie was just saying from Florida Emergency Management was that unlike Fort Myers, it's not as dense, so therefore it takes longer to check each house, right? Because there might be two houses along a stretch, a 5-mile stretch. So it's going to take them a while, but they're going to get there. Yeah. They're going to get there eventually.
And that's exactly right, Andrea. This is a more rural part of the state, of course, not as heavily populated as we've seen in other hurricanes, like Hurricane Ian, and also previous storms, really, including Irma and Michael, that I've also covered before. This is a part of the state of Florida, Andrea, the Big Bend region, that normally doesn't see storms that are just this powerful. Now, earlier this morning, when I was in Perry, the story then was the wind speed. Other parts of Florida, as we have seen, you've seen those dramatic pictures of all that flooding. That is mostly the catastrophic storm surge that we keep hearing about. In Perry, where I was this morning, obviously there was no storm surge because it was 20 miles inland. The winds were the story there. This part of Florida, Keaton Beach, not only did they get those massive winds, they also got storm surge. So again, we're waiting to learn how much damage there was here at the point of impact, the point of landfall here in Florida's Big Bend region. And again, this is different from so many other storms because, yes, the small bit of good news, this isn't as much of a populated area as perhaps some other parts of the state, but still, if you live here, this is devastating all the same. And again, first responders are now going door to door checking for survivors as we speak, Andrea.
Yeah, and we were showing that gas station just totally wiped out that you drove past in Perry. One of the things that's been really notable from the briefings that I've been watching the governor all morning, and now just now again, they were really prepared for this. They seem to have a lot of utility crews ready to go. And it's a fast-moving storm, so they're able to begin rescue and recovery very quickly, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's a very different storm than some others we've seen. Years ago, we covered Hurricane Harvey in multiple states, but in Texas, Louisiana, that storm just hung there for a very long time, dumping, hour after hour of rain. This one kind of blew through pretty quickly, and now it's, on to other parts of the country. And thankfully, that speed makes it, for the people that are here, it was pretty in and out. It was just heavy winds for about a couple hours or so, and then it moved on. Still, even though it moves quickly, it can be devastating, can be catastrophic if you live in a mobile home or an older home that perhaps wasn't built in the last few years. Those high winds are just absolutely devastating. But to your point about officials here in Florida being prepared, look, Florida is very used to big storms, and they had been warning people to get out for days here. We spent some time in Cedar Key yesterday. That mayor, and again, we've probably been seeing the pictures of that storm surge that has swamped Cedar Key as we see some emergency responders that are actually coming down this road and about to cross this right here. You can see there's an airboat coming here as well. Again, Andrew, right now we're looking live at the first response in the state of Florida at the point of landfall. Keaton Beach, you see the first responders bringing in their all-terrain vehicles, their boats, trying to make sure that they can get to the people that need rescuing at this point. Again, we're being told to hold back at this point while they run their initial checks. That's why we're waiting at this checkpoint. But you can see a massive response unfolding here in Keaton Beach, the point of landfall of this massive, monstrous hurricane that hit this region that just isn't quite used to it. But again, it seems that local officials were very prepared. They'd been urging people to evacuate for days. They had met some resistance. Some people just didn't want to leave. In Cedar Key yesterday, the mayor making an urgent plea for people to get out. There were still 100 or so that didn't heed that warning. And we have heard some residents that are here in Keaton Beach that also decided to ride this out. We talked to one a little earlier, though. He decided to go to Perry at the hotel where we rode out the storm, and he was coming back to try and make it back to the first time and check on his property. Again, that damage assessment is underway as we speak. You just saw those first responders heading in there, some of the first responders to get into Keaton Beach hours after it made landfall, Andrea.